1 second. Let me see if I can get this so that sheet up here.
Gita, just I want to ask you about the Shivananda Lahari. Today is at 8:30, 8:30 in night time?
No, in the morning.
Because it's 6, it says 6 o'clock in the morning.
6 to
So
7.
here it will be 8.
No, it is the
Here it
same
will be.
time because it is your time and my time is the same.
Oh, it's in states?
Yeah. Pravina Bhagini is in near, she teaches Sanskritam for the children in Chinmay Niketan. Okay? Let's start. Oh. 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 Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sada Shiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Hari Om to everyone. So we are just 3 more verses left for our Bhajagovindam text here. So in the last class, we saw the 28th verse where Adi Shankaracharya took the Kama Purushartha and showed what are the results of Kama, keeping Kama as the goal of our life. And so what will the results of that? And we saw those things in our last class. So we should remember anything in excess is always, that always leads to some kind of a trouble. Anything. Okay. So that is why we should have a limit in everything, whether it is eating, sleeping, even work or whatever. That's why Shastra says, Sarvatra Ati Varjayet. Give up, Sarvatra. Too much thing, excess thing you should give up. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says the same thing in this chapter 6, 17th verse. Yuktahara viharasya, yukta chestasya karmasu, yukta swapnava bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. So the one who is regulated in all the habits, like here it says, ahara, vihara, and swapna bodha. So that is eating, sleeping, recreation, even action. Okay. If you are regulated in all these things, then all your sorrows are removed by in our spiritual path. Extravagance, that is the thing, in whether it is eating, sleeping, or whatever it is, which are the demands of our body actually, then that will block the spiritual advancement. So that is what, everywhere we should remember, whatever is said, it is not that you should completely I will keep away from that one, but we should see how much we should be in that. So that's what, we saw in the last class, how much is the right amount of the karma and all those things there. And here, of course, in the last class also, uh, Adi Shankaracharya, so when we think experiencing this pleasures gives us so much happiness, but we never think of the consequences of that one. And one of the consequences, he said in the last verse, was the body, it becomes a home for many kinds of diseases. Sharire roga. And so the irony is, when we all know these pleasures, all of these are time bound. No pleasure is permanent except your realization. you know Still, sometimes just to experience that one, we go to the extent we transcend the dharma also, and we start doing the wrong things also. That is why he said papa charanam, that leads us to sin, because the desire is in, you just cannot get over. You tell your mind, it's okay, you don't need it, but right then it will keep quiet for a few seconds and then say, come on, it is so good. So it's so hard to control the mind when the mind is decided that it wants that desire to be experienced. That's why, in Mahabharata we see, I have quoted this one many times, but I'm going to quote again. In Mahabharata, what does Duryodhana tell Krishna? Krishna asks, why do you do these things? Why don't you do the right thing? You and Pandavas, you had the same teacher, the same the teaching. Everything was the same. But why they are like that and you are like this? And Duryodhana, what does he say? Janami dharmam, nachame pravrittihi. Janami adharmam, nachame nivrittihi. त्वया ऋषिकेश हृदि स्थितेन यथा नियुक्त अस्मि तथा करोमि. Janami dharma. Don't you think do you think I don't know what is dharma? I know that. What is the dharma? Nachame pravurtihi. But somehow I don't feel like following. Janami adharmam. I know what is unrighteousness also. But nachame na nivrittihi. I just cannot get away from that. What is it that makes me do this one? Tvaya Hushikesha Hrudistitena. That, the Lord of the senses, Hushikesha, that Lord of the senses that dwells in my heart, and whatever I feel right, that I do it. It's like saying I helplessly do these things because something inside me that prompts me to do these things. So, this is what, when the desire is irresistible, even though we know what is the right thing to do and thing, we still follow the Papa Acharana. That's what it is. So, it is not Duryodhana, it's not that Duryodhana did not know the right thing or the wrong thing, but he knew it. We are also sometimes, we are like that, but when we cannot control our mind also. But if we are under the influence of the desire, okay. But if this is Duryodhana, what is Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita? And what does Arjuna say in Bhagavad Gita? He says, Atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichanapi vashneya baladeva niyojitaha. So he says, oh Bhagavan, why does the person does this commit sins as if he is forced to do it? Anichannapi, he doesn't want to do it, but Baladiva, something makes him do it. It forces him. What is that, Bhagavan? He asks. And what does Lord Krishna says? Kamayesha, Krodayesha, Rajoguna Samudbhavaha, Mahashano Mahapapma, Vidyena Miha Vairinam. So Lord Krishna says, it is Kama, it is the lust. And because of that lust, what happens? The result of that one is Krodha also. Okay, when the desire is not fulfilled, that is, it turns into krodha. And what are these? Rajoguna. Okay, because of this, a person does all these wrong things, even though he knows, like what is the right thing to do. So, you know, but what is it that can help us? We cannot say, okay, we are also like that. We cannot help. No, the thing is, you need to be alert, 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 alert all the time. You have to catch yourself. Then only, we can stay away from Papa Charana. Okay. So anyway, so one Guru, Guruji used to say that, asakti is what? Desire, right? You have asakti in something. So he says, if it is asakti, it can jasakti also. If it can come, it can go also. So nice, so it's very nice to listen to Guruji's lectures, all these little things he brings it up, so it stays in your head all the time. Okay, so now we will go to the 29th verse today. And here Adi Shankaracharya has taken the Artha Purushartha, the four Purusharthas, Kama, uh, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So Kama is over, now it is Artha. So he has taken the other Purushartha, Artha Purushartha, where human beings want go after of the wealth. That is one of the things that you want to have in your life. So let us chant this one. अर्थमनर्थं भावय नित्यम् अर्थमनर्थं भावय नित्यं नास्ति ततः सुकलेशः सत्यम् नास्ति ततः सुकलेशः सत्यम् पुत्रादपि धनभाजां भीतिः पुत्रादपि धनभाजां भीतिः सर्वत्रैषा विहिता रीतिः सर्वत्रैषा विहिता रीतिः अर्थमनर्थं भावय नित्यं नास्ति ततः सुकलेशः सत्यम् पुत्रादपि धनभाजां भीतिः सर्वत्रैषा विहिता रीतिः भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते Arthamanartham bhavaya nityam. Artham is wealth. Anartham is calamitous. Bhavaya nityam. So reflect on that. Bhavaya. And how often? Nityam. Constantly. Why? Nastita ta sukha leshaha satyam. Because na asti. There is nothing. What is it? It is not there. That happiness. It is not there. Sukalesha, how much happiness? Even iota of happiness, it is not there. And this is the truth, Satyam. So, and then Putradapi Dhana Bhajam Bhitihi. Putrat api, even from your own son. Dhana Bhajam, for a rich person, there is fear. Bhitihi. Sarvatresha Vihita Ritihi. Sarvatra, everywhere. Esha Ritihi, Esha Vihitaha, this is the Riti, this is the way. So Adi Shankaracharya is telling, wealth is calamitous, thus reflect constantly. The truth is that there is no happiness at all from the wealth. To the rich, there is fear even from his own son. This is the way with the wealth everywhere. So let us see the little more details on these things. Artham anartham bhavaya nityam. The first part it says. So here is this artham and anartham. So this is known as virodha bhasa. That is, opposites are used to communicate a particular thing here. So it is like when we say likes and dislikes. So it is like the artha and anartha here. And artham is meaningful, worthy. Anartham is meaningless, unworthy. So I'm showing you the opposites here. Artham is purposeful, anartham is purposeless. Artham is beneficial, anartham is calamitous. And also this word artha, it has different meanings also. And we will just take three meanings here. I'll just tell you the three meanings here. First, artha is, meaning. So what does it mean? So if I say, can you please tell me the artha of the word samyama? Okay, then that artha is used. So there you are saying, can you tell me the meaning of this word samyama? So in that way, artha is meaning. Okay. And the second meaning for the artha is, it is wealth. And in the purusha artha, the third one, artha means that which is sought by purusha. And so, are a human being. So it says, Purushaihi artyate iti purushartha. That is something that is sought by a human being, that is known as the purushartha. So there is that artha here. So here in this verse, the artha word is used in the meaning of wealth. So we are not going to see the other things. So here, when we say wealth, wealth doesn't mean just the money. Wealth is also, it's a power. It is the different kind of possessions other than the money. Okay, all this comes under artha only. And here Adi Shankaracharya is telling artham is anartham, means this wealth is not something that you something that brings you happiness all the time. It brings you trouble. It brings you calamities. So that's what it is. So it is undesirable. So if you see this verse, how long ago Adi Shankaracharya was there? 1200 to 1500 years ago. And at that time, he is saying these things. So, and they sound so modern, and it is so relevant even today. But this was the same thing at that time. What does it show? It shows that, that mankind has not changed. There is no fundamental change in humanity at all. The same mentality is there. The same kind of problems are also exists. And sometimes, Guruji always used to say, most of the time the parents will say, oh, in our times it was not like this. So every parent say the same thing, and our children will also say the same thing to their children also. But it is the same. Adi Shankaracharya is telling this one 1500 years ago, he said this one. So anyway, the cycle has to keep going, I guess. Okay, if money is calamitous, does that mean that we should not earn any money then? No, that is not what it is said here. Money is definitely, we need it for our living, for our basic needs, for our food, for our shelter, all these things. It is a must. Okay, but money is important, but we should remember, money is not everything at the same time. It is important, but it is not everything. So when we have a healthy attitude towards money, that is what Adi Shankaracharya is telling here. Have the proper attitude. And we should be aware when the money begins to control us. And it exerts the power on us. And then we start chasing after that. That's why I said we have to be very alert. We should be aware of these things. So we can just say money, more than a certain level, actually takes away our freedom. We become slaves of that one. Tulsidas ji, I'm not Tulsidas ji, Kabir Das ji, Doha. He writes in one of his dohas, he says, Sai itna dijiye, jame kutumb samay, मैं भी भूखा न रहूं, साधु न भूखा जाए. Sai, oh Lord, itna dijiye. Give me that much. How much? Jame kutumba samaye. In that, I can take care of my family. And mai bhi bhooka na rahu. I should not be I should not go hungry. Sadhu na bhooka jaye. Okay, not this sadhu who comes to the house. That means it's not just sadhu. It is, you can say, like a people who come to you, or the community that comes to you. Okay, they also should not go hunger. Give me only that much. So beautifully, says it. So, and also we should remember, when he says, sadhu na bhukha jai, let the monk or the sadhu or the visitor, whoever comes, let him not go hungry. What does it show? It shows this wealth is not just for us. The wealth is for everybody. Just think of ourselves, the wealth that we have. Did we really make all of this one? How much the society has helped? Starting from the teacher who taught us 1 plus 1 is 2 and ABCD. Without that knowledge, could we go to school? Could we go to college? Could we get earn our degrees and get a job? And could we have the shelter? Today I was going to Niketan, and I went to Niketan this morning, and some road repair was going on, and so only one lane was there. I was looking at them, and I did namaskar to them. Because of you, we have these proper roads. It is so hot, 90 degrees, and in that one they are working. And what we think, everything belongs to us. Road is ours. Somebody should not take over us. See, this wealth, when we have this kind of a thinking, wealth is for everybody. I'm not the one who made this wealth. We need for our life. Keep that one. But the rest of it, spread it around. Spread the joy. That is what is important to us. And that's what, Guruji always says, whether it is children or whether it is wealth or whatever it is, we are just the trustees. That's all. We are the custodians. We are responsible for managing them. That's it. But it does not belong to us at all. And a person who knows how to handle the money, if you don't have that right knowledge about that money, then that artha becomes anartha, because you don't know how to use it. So what Adi Shankaracharya is telling here is, be a master of your money. Don't become slave of your money. Okay. But most of the time we are slaves to our money only here. It's very interesting. Bhishma Pitamaha in Mahabharata, maybe he was reflecting, reflecting, he was something. There he says, Arthasya Purusho Dasa. So man is enslaved by the wealth. Then, very interesting, he says, Dasas Tvarto na kasyachit. That means it is satyam. And what is this truth? And he says it is bitter truth. What is it? That money is never anybody's slave. We are slave, but money is not. And then he says, Bhaddo asamya arthena kauravaihi. I am a slave of Duryodhana, he says. So, anyway, so Gurudev writes, it is strange indeed that money was discovered and made by man. And yet, man has become a slave to the very thing which is his own creation. Today, money rules the foolish man. So, therefore, why should we waste our energy and our time going after this wealth? making that as a goal of our life. That's why Adi Shankaracharya says, Bhavaya, reflect, Nityam, always, constantly, reflect constantly upon what? Wealth, artham is anartham. Reflect on that one and remember, wealth or too much wealth actually brings too much calamities also. Artham, anartham. So now we should also remember what kind of wealth that brings anartham. Okay, so money that is devoid of noble values, virtues, righteousness, that wealth is undesirable. That is the one that brings calamities. That means, the wealth that is accumulated by wrong means, that is undesirable. That wealth is actually no wealth at all. Actually, it is a source of tragedy. And this wealth is anartham, calamity. So from that one, Adi Shankaracharya says, Nasti tata sukha leshaha satya. So understand, from this kind of money, there is not even an iota of happiness, a wee bit of happiness that comes to that person. So, because you see, when a person accumulates money by wrong ways, he cannot declare it, and he can't show off also. But money is there, and he has to keep quiet. And where can he keep it? Only in Switzerland banks. And when he dies, nobody is there to claim also, because it's a secret. I didn't know that, Switzerland, Swiss banks, they can, they don't have to give anybody's name who has how much money. They don't have to show it to any government in this whole world. They have that thing. Okay, anyway. So here, so we had seen before, what did that Mooda Jahihi Danagama Trishna Kuru Sadbuddhim Manasivi Trishna Yallabase Nija Karmopatam Vittam Tena Vinodaya Chittam. So don't have this Trishna, this thirst for this wealth, but you be happy with whatever you earn with your own effort, and enjoy that money. That money is not anartham. Okay, so that is says yallabase nija karmopatam vittam tena vinodaya chittam. That wealth will actually, that kind of a wealth is actually is a blessing for us here. See, there was a farmer. He had a small bit of land, and he was cultivating that one, and he was happy. He had a family and two oxen and a dog, and he was very happy. And there was a landlord who owned most of the village land, very rich guy. He saw him, and he said, he said to his manager, look, he has such a patch of land, and he's so happy. And here I own most of this village, and I'm so unhappy. So the manager said, that is because he doesn't know what richness is. And that manager went to that farmer, and he said, my master is so happy to see you. You're so happy, and you have a big family also. And he has decided to give you a gift. And what is that gift? Look at all this land that he owns. And he wants to give a part of that for you free. You don't have to pay anything, but he just wants to gift it to you. But how much land to give you? That you yourself has to decide. How you are going to decide? Tomorrow you come here to this spot and you run. Okay. And when you think you have enough, you come back to the spot where you started. And the amount of land you covered running, that land will be yours. So, the farmer was so happy. He said, oh, at last, Bhagavan has opened the eyes and he's given me this wealth. I have to make sure that I get enough. So the next morning he came, and the manager said, okay, now you start running and make sure, you come back to this spot. So he ran. It was afternoon, so tired, by running, sweating and everything. And he remembers, I have to go back. And then he says, look, this is the only opportunity I have that I can make little more money. Let me run a little bit more. And so he runs. Now the sun is setting. And he says, no, I have to go back now. So he starts running, towards where he started. But even he has not come even halfway because of exhaustion, he falls down and he dies. That is the, when you are so much, I want, that happiness that he had with that little patch of land that he did not see. But he thought, he will be happy with more and more and more. So, nasti tata sukaleshaha satyam. Tataha, from that, sukaleshaha nasti. Even a little bit, and as I said, an iota of happiness that is not there. And Adi Shankaracharya uses the word satyam. This is the truth. I'm telling you the truth. That there is no happiness in that wealth in that one. And this, the wealth that is earned in not righteously, it brings anxiety, and it brings, as the story I just told you, it brings greed, it brings jealousy, and it brings fear also. One may think that procuring the wealth solves all the problems. No, actually the problem starts with accumulating the wealth here. First, this farmer was a happy-go-lucky person. But now, because of the uh, desire for the wealth, what happened to him? He just gave up his life also. So, we can say money will bring you away from the poverty. That is true, but with that comes problems also. One of the commentator, he says, this person had a severe headache. He was screaming from that headache. His friend, he took an iron rod and he hit his leg. And that was hurting so bad that he asked, why did you do this? Why did you do this? He said, now you are not thinking of the head. Headache is gone. So that problem is gone. A new problem, leg pain has come. It's the same with the money. One goes, one comes. One exits and one enters. So with the money, you cannot solve any problems at all. Goddess Mahalakshmi, she's supposed to be chanchala. She's fickle. And she's like a bubble of water, a bubble on the water. You never know when that bubble is going to burst. So nobody knows the same way when the wealth will go away. And that anxiety is also there. So Guruji says, it is better if you realize this one faster. Gurudev, actually, in a previous shloka, there where Gurudev was talking about the wealth, Yallabase Nija Karmopatam, in that shloka, he has written, desire for wealth degrades man. Attachment brings endless worries. There is a strain in acquiring. There is struggle to preserve it intelligently. Then there is pain when you lose it. The same thing is said in a Subhashita very beautifully. It says, Arthanam arjane dukkam, arjitanam cha rakshane, aye dukkam, vyaye dukkam, dig arthaha, kashta samshraya. Arthanam arjane dukkam. To earn the money, it's very painful. You have to work very, very hard. Sweat and all that. and arjitanam ta rakshane. Whatever you have earned, that to protect that one, that is also painful. You're always worried, what if somebody takes it away? Aya dukkam. Earning is dukkam, vyaya dukkam. You don't want to spend it. Who wants to spend the money? I like to have a big balance. Every day I can look it up and say, oh, I have 5 lakhs of rupees in my account. I don't want to spend that one. Dig artaha. So he says, fight on money. Kashta samshrayaha. Because this money is the cause of all hardships. Okay. So that doesn't mean that, all money is bad. As I've been telling you, we should know how much to keep, how much to give away. Some people have this talent to make money, not everybody. But they should use it. They should not say, okay, I don't have to make money. You make money, but you keep as much as you need for your, not just the mere, what called bare minimum, just a small hut or oh, I don't want to buy a car because I don't want to waste money. I'll buy a bicycle. Not like that. Live a very beautiful life. But since you have the talent to make that money, make that money and take care of the community. That is very important. And so that's why, in the 11th verse, Adi Shankaracharya had said, Ma kuru dhanajana yovana garvam harati nimeshat kala sarvam. Don't be proud of all these things, because everything is gone away in just a moment there. And Nachiketa, what does he say in Kathopanishad? He says, Na vittena tarpaniyo manushyaha. Man is never satisfied with his possessions. That little boy knows. But we adults, we don't know. And so Gurudev says, let not money use you or employ you in its service. When you possess money, wealth is a blessing. But if you allow money to possess you, wealth is a curse. And it will give you, it will not give you even iota of happiness. Sukhaleshaha. And this is the truth about the wealth satya. Now, why do we want to earn money? We want to be happy, right? Nobody earns money because they want to be sad. We all want to be happy. But if money can bring so many problems, and if there is no peace also, then where is the happiness? Lord Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, right? Ashantasya kutas sukham. How can one who lacks peace can be happy? Gurudev's quote is there, mind at peace is a mind in joy. So, but if you want the happiness at the mind level, the happiness at the highest level is knowing who you are. But if you want the happiness at the mind level, then what you should do, you should follow the dharma. Then that it will give you peace of mind also. And in the second line, Adi Shankaracharya says, what is the calamity of this money? And he says, it divides the father and son. And it divides even the husband and wife. And he says, Putra dapi dana bhajam bitihi sarvatresha vihita ritihi. Dana bhajam. What is that? A rich man. He is known as Dhana Bhajam, who has actually amassed the wealth by unlawful means. Such a person is known as Dhana Bhajam. Putrat api. Putrat api bhiti. He fears his own son. And here, putra is just an upalakshana for all relations near and dear ones. And Here, when it says putrat api, even, that means what? Your son is your own flesh and blood. Even that child can become bring you, you will be afraid of him. He can bring you fear in you. Then what to talk about? Other relatives, the family members. That is why it is said putrat api. That api word is, it's a, when son himself is like that, then what to talk about? Other relations also here. It's many times we think the wealth will bring us security. It will give some security. I'm not saying it is not, but at the same time, money itself brings us insecurity. There was this son of a Dhanabhaja, a rich man. He came to the father. He said, Dad, it is my 16th birthday next week, and I would like to have a Ferrari for my birthday gift. Father said, no, 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 no. I'm not buying you a Ferrari for your birthday. Son said, are you sure you don't want to buy that for me? Father said, yeah, I don't want to. So son said, okay. Next day he came to the dad, and then he said, Dad, did you see that, our neighbors, a new neighbor has come? Father said, yeah, I saw, some of the vans were there and they were unloading all the furniture and everything. So the son said, yes, I was talking to that person. He's a very nice person and he is an IRS officer. And I was telling him about your business. The father said, when do you want the car? How, even your own child becomes like that. He threatens his father. That is so, happen. And the father is afraid if he displeases his son, he's going to report it to IRS officer about all the wealth he has hidden in his own house. Putrat api dhana bhaja bhitihi. We have seen in Mahabharata how Dhritarashtra was afraid of his son Duryodhana. I remember this one. This is really, I'm telling you the true story. I'm not making this up. When we lived in Warner Robins, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, I don't remember. There was a family physician. I'm not going to tell his name. I still remember his name also. And his wife used to work in his office, just like I used to work in Raghuji's office. And this doctor fell in love with a young girl and he asked for a divorce. And the wife, did not fight, and she gave the divorce because she knew there is nothing. It's not going to work. So she gave the divorce. Do you know what? Then what she did? She went to the IRS office, and she said, all the cash money that was collected in the office, that is not declared, and it is kept in such a place. The IRS office went there. He was jailed for he was given for 3 years term or something, but because of his good nature and all those, he came out of the jail after 1.5 years. So the money brings, even between husband and wife, the trouble. So there is always, money is something that you need to fear about also. And okay, let me see. And other things that I want to tell you, Putradapi. If you see the history, read the Mughal emperors. Almost every son put the father in the jail. But the worst king was this Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb put his father in the prison, killed his elder brother, Darashuko. He was such a Advaita Vedantin. He translated all the Upanishads to Persian language. That great person he was. And he killed that brother. And then he became the king. The most cruel king in the whole of history is Aurangzeb. So you can see how the wealth can bring all these problems in our life. So the wealth actually, if it's not earned properly, it can become a curse in disguise. Another thing, Swamiji says is, most of the people, they feel like, oh, I have to leave this much for my children. Then they have enough to leave for children, maybe 1 million. Then they think, oh, let me leave for my grandchildren also. That is why, what is Vivekananda Swamiji says, teach them how to fish. Don't feed them fish. Let them earn their own living. Teach them what is the right thing. Teach them the values. Give them the good education. And then share your money with the society. So here, the last pada, he is telling Sarvatresha Vihita Ritihi. So this bhiti from the child and everything, this is the same thing everywhere from the time immemorial. So we can see the Adi Shankaracharya is telling that. And you see, even in Mahabharata is one book, that if you know the story well, you can use that Mahabharata in every place, whether it is good for bad, both ways you can use that one. So in Mahabharata, what happened? Yudhishthira did the Rajasuya Yaga. And what did he do? He made Duryodhana to take care of his treasury, so that he can bring whatever needs to be given to the guests and everything. So he was put in charge of that one. And what did Duryodhana feel? Look at all this wealth. He became so jealous. He wanted all of that wealth for himself. And his mama Shakuni made it happen also. That is wealth. And we can go on and on and on about this, how this artham is anartham. But, let us see how wealth can be a blessing in our life also. First of all, our scriptures never says don't earn money. Money is required for our life, as I said, for the basic things and all that. So let the wealth be a sadhana, that is means for living. But don't make the wealth as a sadhya, goal of life. Goswami Tulsidas ji says, wealth is like a shadow. If you chase it, it will start running away from you. But if you quietly walk towards Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra ji, then that shadow also, it will follow you. Same thing is the wealth. If you go after it, it runs away. So you put more and more effort. But if you earn, properly and say, Bhagavan, I'm happy with this much money content, it stays with you. It's always with you. So if you know how to use the wealth, that is the greatest thing here. So Gurudev always used to say, hold on to Narayana and Mahalakshmi will walk behind him. But if you give priority only to Mahalakshmi, she doesn't like it. And Narayana also doesn't like it. And she does not stay here. And there is one funny Subhashita where it says, the miser is the biggest giver. How is that possible? It says, Krupanena samodata na bhuto na bhavishyati. There was no great giver like a miser in the past, or in future there won't be anybody like him. Why do you call him as a giver? It says, Asprushaneva vittani yaha parebhya prayachati. Without touching, he gives away everything. What does it mean? See, there is 3 ways you can spend the money, wealth, right? Wealth can be given to somebody, or you can indulge yourself with all the wealth you have, or money will get, it can be destroyed also. So a miser, he doesn't give, nor he indulges in his own money. But when he dies, all that money is given to everybody. So for you to give, you have to touch something and give. But here he doesn't touch the money, but he gave it to everybody. So that way, a miser is the greatest giver. So okay, I'm just one. I thought that's the Subhashita was so appropriate here, to that treatment. And that Bhartruhari, Vairagya Shatakam, he says, Vitte Drupalad Bhayam. When you have wealth, there is the fear from Drupala is king. But we can say when you have too much money, you can say you have fear from IRS now. So we can always change it to modern ways also. So one might think, what is this? Adi Shankaracharya, I talked about all this karma, and now he's talking about vitta. After all, he was a total sannyasi. So he can say whatever he wants. But he really doesn't know what life is. We cannot say that because Mahalakshmi, she was at his service. Why do I say that one? You remember that Kanakadara Stotra. When that lady, she didn't have anything to give to that little boy, Adi Shankara, in what you call, when he came for begging, and she only had those two dried up amalaka fruits, and she gave that one. And that young boy, he called on Mahalakshmi, and golden amalakas were showered. So don't think that, Adi Shankaracharya did not have any money, so he talks like that. Mahalakshmi was in his service only. So here, we should not have that kind of a feeling. Many people say that just because you don't know, you think that is bad for you. Just because you don't have it, not know. Just because you don't have it, you think it is not good for me. It's like, that the fox saying the grapes are sour. No, that is not what Adi Shankaracharya is giving us the uh, advice here. Okay. So Guruji says it's an illusion to think that money can buy everything. Because yes, money can buy many things, but it cannot buy what you value in your. And Gurudev says in the same way, man seeks satisfaction in life, but wealth can purchase for us only sense gratification. All of us wants to be happy. That is our goal. But can happiness be bought with money? We forget happiness is not outside. It is our own self. It is my own swarupa. Sleep is very important. If you can't get a good night's sleep, the whole next day you are irritable. But can you buy sleep with money? You can buy sleeping pills. And Guruji says, there's sometimes a person takes one sleeping pill is not enough for him. He takes a few sleeping pills. Still, he doesn't get sleep. Do you know why? Because the pills have gone to sleep. So like that. And the other thing, think of all the things what we want in our life. Hunger, appetite. That's a sign of health. Can we buy that with our money? You can buy the most, what you call it, the nowadays what you call organic, vegan, plant-based food. Whatever you want, you can buy. But can you buy hunger? Health. Can you buy health? You can buy expensive medicines. But can you buy health? Same way, you cannot buy peace of mind. You cannot buy love. You cannot buy relationships. You cannot buy trust. You cannot buy truth. So everything we treasure that you cannot buy with money. Why can't we buy? Because with money you can only buy things. But important things in our life are not things. So actually nowadays you can even buy degrees. But can you buy knowledge? No. So all these things can be acquired by living a dharmic life and having devotion to Bhagavan. So you start with Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam Bhaja Modam. So the tagline for this verse is wealth is for dharma, or another tagline is wily wealth. So this is verse number 29. So we will see the 30th verse in the next class. And 28th and 29th is known as Bahiranga Sadhana. And the 30th verse is known as the Antaranga Sadhana. So we will see what is Bahiranga and what is Antaranga in our next class. And then we will see the 30th verse. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.